Australia take on Afghanistan, and this there is a lot to play for here. This match happens at the Wankhede Stadium. Australia, of course, wanting to get this win to get a Q next to their name, and Afghanistan, who surprised everyone in this World Cup, will want to win because they have to win both their games to get into the semi-finals, which is still a big possibility. So, Michael, big game tomorrow for both the teams.
Yeah, huge, and I see that your friend, the master Sachin, he's been with the Afghanistan team this evening. They're practicing. He's given them a speech, which is great to see. Yeah, Afghanistan have been great. You know, they'll fancy the chances. You know, I'm hearing around the traps. You know, it's Mumbai. It'll suit Australia. You know, a bit of pace in the pitch, and they'll blow Afghanistan away. I don't think they will. I think this Afghanistan are a group of fighters. They're very collective. They seem to have a method. They're all identified in terms of the roles within the team. And it only takes a pitch that just does a little bit of this. And the one area that you can get Australia is spin.
Yeah. You know, have a look at Afghanistan squad because, like Michael's saying, the pitch just needs to do a little bit of dancing around. But Simon, do you think they will play Noor, or do you think they'll get Naveen in for tomorrow's game?
I think I'd still play Noor against Australia. Look, it's a tough call because you go in with only two seamers. It does make it very, very difficult. Omarzai's been really good. I've actually been impressed with him. You know, a couple of things that Afghanistan have missed over the years is a solid middle order. Or Ramit Shah and the skipper, Hasmatullah Shahidi, have provided that middle order. They've won games. The skipper's been not out on a couple of occasions. And I thought their quick bowling was just lacking a little bit. But Faruqi and Naveen have done a great job through this tournament. So that all-rounder spot with Omarzai and bowling a few overs, I don't know that they can go in with just two seamers though against Australia at Wankhede. It's not a big ground, and if one of the spinners goes, although they're all very clever, I just don't know where they turn to if they go down that road. So they may have to drop Noor.
I'd gamble with all the spin against the Aussies.
Would you?
Absolutely. And I think there's one player. There's one at the. I mean, Head will just go. Eddie's dangerous because he'll just go. So if he gets you, he gets you. Warner's a good player spin, you know, without any question. Maxwell, if he's back, and he's a brilliant hitter of spin down that back end. The rest in the middle, I think you can bowl a lot.
You'd open with Nabi. Straight away, you'll open with Nabi with the two left-handers at the top. So, you know, I don't mind the option. I just wonder whether they will.
Yeah.
You know, I think when Afghanistan came into the tournament, I thought they were a side that could only bat first and use their spinners in the second innings. I thought they were a bit of a one-trick pony. They've proven me absolutely wrong. And I had a chat to Jonathan Trott about this. I thought their modus operandi was, let's get some runs on the board and let's get our spinners into the game and see if we can strangle sides and win games that way. They've chased well. That chase against Pakistan, and then that sort of gave them belief to chase well. And the skippers had a lot to do with that. You know, I think I said last week on the show, the guys have really loved Ajay Jadeja.
Yes.
They've really loved having him in and amongst the side as well. So they've got two really high quality batters in that side, and Jonathan Trott and Ajay Jadeja. So they've learned how to craft a run chase, which they could never do. And so that's the one thing that's really impressed me with this Afghanistan side, the way they have changed their fortunes a little bit. They are no longer that one-trick pony, and they have the ability to do both now. And that's what makes them a far more dangerous side. So, yeah, really impressed with them.
Well, let's have a look at Australia's squad now, because there's so many people who have been out in. Maxwell hopefully should be in tomorrow. Mitch Marsh is in tomorrow, but there was news that Steve Smith wasn't doing too well, so we're not too sure, Michael, if he's going to play. If Steve Smith doesn't play, do you see Cam Green playing in place of Steve Smith at that number 3?
Well, I think Mitchell Marsh is back, so I think Mitchell will slot back into number 3. I mean, I believe Steve Smith's had a bit of vertigo, which is not good, and that was today. And I'd be amazed if he can play tomorrow. So we might see no Steve Smith. You know, Maxwell will come back in, and probably Stoinis will keep his place. You know, if that's the case, if Steve Smith's not playing. Cameron Green played okay against England, but he's not been in great form. So I don't think, if anyone misses out, it'd be Cameron Green. Even though he's playing on his home venue at Mumbai, he's played some nice innings there, obviously in the IPL. But the Aussies look strong. The most impressive thing for me with Australia, and I think this is where teams have to try and counter that, is Adam Zampa. He's been fantastic. He's squeezing, he's getting wickets. And I do look at their attack, and if you can get Zampa, if someone can gamble and go, right, well, I'll take Zampa down, I think their attack will get challenged quite deeply, because then they'll have to turn to Stoinis a little bit more. Maxwell was missed against England. He's been bowling some nice offies, but I do think Zampa is the key to their attack. I just think he's holding that middle period together beautifully. I think when you see that and you know that, teams have then got to go, right, how can we counteract that? And the only way to counteract that is to go at Zampa and try and put him off his line and length early, because he's been controlling that length immaculately. So somewhere, somehow, someone's going to have to go, right, we know that, try and put him under some pressure.
Well, there is Zampa, who's had a great World Cup. The Afghani top four have been batting well, but when you have a Zampa, Hazelwood, Pat Cummins, Stark, it's a little intimidating, isn't it?
It is intimidating, but they've coped with most things that have come their way. Barring probably the Indian attack, Afghanistan have actually coped with most things that have come their way. Ramanullah Cricbuzz has been brilliant. I mean, he gets them off to flying starts more often than not nowadays. He used to be sort of 1, 2 and 5. He's now sort of 3, 4 and 5, and I think that's been really good for them. The sort of solidity of that middle order has been good, but if they get off to a flying start, they're very hard to stop. He's hard to peg back, Cricbuzz, because he just keeps going, and if Zampa has to come in with the side under pressure and bowl, then maybe they can work him around a bit more. When he comes in and you're already 2, 3 down, and he squeezes and you're looking for runs, he's just so difficult to hit. He's so hard to hit off a line, off a length, and he doesn't loop too many up, but he just hits that length that you can't quite go back to and you can't really go forward to, and he gets LBWs, he traps guys on the crease all the time. So he's very difficult, but if Cricbuzz gets off to a fly, that ground's not big enough for him. I tell you, he's got some real power and some real ability.
But even for Australia, I mean, they have to get this win in, because they don't want to leave anything to the last minute, right? They just want to get it done and get this win in.
Yeah, get it in the bag, get the points, qualify. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the semis, but you just want to keep winning. Keep improving. I think Australia can improve. I think there's areas that they can get better. I think they've been brilliant in the field. Their fielding unit, the operational side of everyone knowing exactly where they are. It's a well-run unit. But I do think Australia, they can get better. They're the one team I do think that they could surprise India, because they've won so many World Cups. They've just got the heritage history of winning World Cups. And can South Africa surprise India? Didn't look so from yesterday's performance. Can New Zealand surprise India? Not with their recent form. Could Pakistan surprise India? Probably not, because their records in World Cup history tells you that that's not possible. Pakistan have never beaten India in 50 over cricket, but Australia are the side that mentally they're tough. And if they get to play India in a final, they're the one team I think that could just give. I still fancy India, by the way. I'm just making it clear, but they are the one team I think that could surprise India in a final.
All right, so your players to watch out for then for tomorrow.
Well, I just talked about Cricbuzz, so I'll stick with him at the top of the order for Afghanistan, and I mean I'll leave Zampa to Vaughan, because he's going to go with him. I think Josh Hazelwood needs a game. I don't think he's been quite at his best through the tournament. If he finds that hard line length, bit of pace, bit of bounce at Wankhede, he might have a day out.
I'm going to go Travis Head.
Yeah.
At this venue, I love watching him bat. He rocks into fifth gear really.
Right away, first to fifth.
Oh, he just goes right. As long as he gets out there on time, he will go. So I'm going to say perfect batting wicket for Travis Head, because he plays well off the front and the back. That bounce at the Wankhede. So Travis Head, and I'm going to go Mujib.